ಉಸಿರಾಟದ ತೊಂದರೆ, ಜ್ವರ, ಕೆಮ್ಮು ಅಥವಾ ನೆಗಡಿ ಅಂತಹ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆಪ್ತ ಮಿತ್ರ ಸಹಾಯವಾಣಿ 1441. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam. Did you get the link? Everything? Are you joining?
Yeah, actually you sent me the link, is it? I was just coming to join that.
Yeah, I sent it. Please check the link and join immediately.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, very good afternoon, sir. It's me, Ramarao, reporting to you, sir.
Ramarao, how are you?
Fine, sir. Fine, doing good, sir.
Yeah, good.
We'll wait for another 5 minutes, sir.
Yeah, she is joining now.
Yes, sir.
The resource person is joining.
Sir.
Yeah.
Live stream.
Hope it is audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it audible? Yes, very good. And it is a demo right now. So, Mr. Ramarao, you just suggest what is the procedure, how the schedule will go. Starting point and end point, you just mention how it runs through the program.
Sir, you are in unmute. Ramarao, sir, are you in mute?
Yeah, Ramarao, you are in. Please.
I'm reporting to you, sir.
Yeah, good. Now proceed.
Sir, the schedule of the program is like this, sir. By 4:05,
yeah,
I will deliver the welcome note, and I will introduce the director and convener of this webinar and resource person, just simply.
Yes.
So I will give 3 to 4 minutes for addressing deliver the welcome note, sir.
Yeah.
Followed, the session will be handed over to the convener and moderator.
Yes.
So the sir will continue the program, and yourself, you are going to introduce the guest and make the platform familiar with all the participants.
Yes.
Later, you will hand over the session to resource person.
Madam,
she will continue up to 4:50, 4:55, sir. Later, 5 to 10 minutes, we will give a chance to the participants to give question and answer, sir.
Yeah.
Later, another coordinator, Mr. Rahmatullah, will provide the vote of thanks, sir. With that, we will end the session.
Okay.
Sir.
So that's fine, actually. Now, whatever I suggest that the madam may briefly present
sir
a couple of slides also.
Okay.
So let us follow it.
Then we will give the option to madam also to provide the slides.
Yes, that is what is required.
Yeah, Satish will take care of that, sir.
Yes.
Right. We'll wait for another couple of minutes, sir.
No, let us wait where the madam is joining or not. Let us keenly watch.
Yes, sir.
Whether resource person
not it,
join.
sir. Not it.
Yeah, just now I talked to her.
Yeah.
So far 69 participants have joined. Good, that's nice. Yeah, 70 number is going up. It should go. Now number is 72. So at a resource person end, there is a small problem, that is the power went off at her place.
Sir.
And she is trying to reconnect with alternative power.
Sir.
She is joining back. So let us wait for a minute or so. Then we will start it, because these power issues are quite common here and there.
YouTube లో మళ్ళీ రిపీట్ అవుతుంది అక్కడ సార్ దగ్గర సార్
YouTube లో
Now it is fine.
So everything is set, you know? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good.
హలో
ఎవరండి?
మేము విజయవాడ శివలక్ష్మి షాపింగ్ మాల్ అని కాల్ చేస్తామండి. మీ నెంబర్కి ఆఫర్ వచ్చిందని ఆఫర్ ఏంటో చెప్పమంటారా?
వద్దులేండి. మేడం జాయిన్ అవుతాను, స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం.
Sir, it is around 96 sir, right now.
కోహోస్ట్ చేయండి. మీరు చేయొచ్చు కదా, చేయండి. మేడం కోహోస్ట్ చేస్తే కోహోస్ట్ చేయండి, దట్ ఈజ్ ఈజీ ఆల్సో. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నేను మైక్రోఫోన్ ఆఫ్ చేయాలంటే నాది లేదే, ఆప్షన్ పెట్టలేదు నాకు. ఓకే, నో వై గాట్ ఇట్. ఓకే, ఇది దీంట్లోకి పోవాలా? ఓకే, ఫైన్. Nice. So hope that 97 people have joined. Good. The moment we cross the 100, then it is a century. And then we can start the program. And I'm very happy that today's program is very, very interesting. And one more program will be there on 9th between 4 to 5. I am sure that is also related to leadership development.
Sir.
And I strongly believe that we have to focus on leadership issue before us, so that we have to develop the leadership orientation among the students and the faculty. Therefore, let us have that type of bias towards the leadership development.
Fine.
So that's why I always feel that ultimately over a period of time, it is the leadership that makes the difference everywhere, whether it is in any sector for that matter, business or industry or political or social system, in every sector and every place, it is the leader who brings the change. and that change will bring the change in the quality of life of the people. So therefore, I would like to focus in the days to come on leadership, whether it is directly or indirectly. Approach should be leadership. So
Right, sir.
let me check with the resource person, because
Not it, sir. Madam is not it.
yeah, that's what. Okay, okay. Please join. Please join. Okay, okay. She's joining. అవుతున్నారు. And she is trying to click on that and joining.
Madam name, sir.
Hmm?
Madam name.
Archana.
Search lo కొట్టేసారు sir.
Archana. ANA. ఇంకా లేదు. లేదంటే మనం క్లిక్ చేసిన దాని మీద ట్రై చేస్తున్నాను అనేది మేడము.
100 అయిపోయినారు పార్టిసిపెంట్స్.
Satish.
మనోడు ఎవరైనా ఉంటే వాళ్ళని రిమూవ్ చేసేయి.
తీసేయండి.
మన స్టూడెంట్సే కదా వాళ్ళు. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళని ఒకసారి రిమూవ్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ రాలేరు పాపం.
పర్లేదు, ఇంకే తప్పదు కదా. వెయిటింగ్ ఇన్ ద రూమ్. అదే కదా మెయిన్ ఇష్యూ.
రిమూవ్ వద్దులే, వెయిటింగ్ లో పడి.
వెయిటింగ్ లో
మళ్ళీ రాలేరు వాళ్ళు. పుట్ ఆన్ హోల్డ్ పెట్టేసాయి.
2-3 హోల్డ్ పెట్టి తర్వాత చూడండి.
హోల్డ్ పెట్టేస్తే మనకి ఇప్పుడు 3 తగ్గినారు.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, joined.
ID
Huh?
ఏం నేమ్?
Madam, did you enter with your name?
Yes, I am. Okay, I don't know. Okay, why I'm seeing somebody else in my place? Just give me one moment, sir.
No. You join. You put her under the Archana. Her name is.
No, actually, you know what has happened? There was a student who had given me his link ID.
Yeah,
and
no.
I see his name.
The reason is once the 100 number is closed, then in our name something we have to remove one student and put you in that place. It is like that.
Okay.
So
I'm actually already in, but I see a different name on my name.
Sir, HASAN, Hassan.
Hassan.
Okay. Hassan for some
I
reason.
think here Hassan, you change this name as Archana. Archana. Name you change it.
I don't think we can do that, sir. I think the link itself has gone through somebody else.
Now ready, sir.
Okay, now it's ready. Okay, now.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I join from another link?
No. Now it is not possible.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Let us start the program.
Yes,
sir.
You can change in meeting settings, ma'am.
No, actually, what I'm saying is there was a student from another college who had given me Zoom link. I think it has joined in from his ID. That's the problem.
Yeah, you joined with some other ID.
But I don't think I can change. I can only reconnect, I think.
We cannot change now.
No, sir, we can change, sir. There is more option.
How do I do that? Okay, just a second.
Click on the more
Rename.
option.
Okay. I see the rename. Okay.
Welcome.
All right, I've made it Archana
Yeah,
K.
good, good.
Yeah, okay.
Now it has
Then
come.
it is clear.
Yes.
Oh, good, good. Now I request my colleague, Mr. Ramarao, to start the formal session, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening to all. Very particularly, Archana Krishnamurthy Garu, resource person of today's session, and convener and moderator of today's webinar, Professor P. Narayana Reddy Garu, director of Sri Vidyaniketan Institute of Management, and participants from various states, pan India. I welcome you all for today's interactive webinar on conscious leadership, which is a very, very important and essential factor of today's busy life. Spirituality is very, very important to lead happy life. So I am really thankful to moderator and Archana Krishnamurthy Garu for providing such a beautiful platform to enlightening aspects of spirituality and as well as consciousness. Thank you very much, madam. Once again, I, Dr. Ramarao, Assistant Professor of Sri Vidyaniketan Institute of Management, very privileged to deliver a welcome note on today's session. I personally welcome you all for today's interactive webinar. Well, I just want to give 2 to 3 minutes of welcome note regarding today's webinar. A small adage from which is given by Aristotle that man is a social animal. It is very clear. This is the foundation of today's webinar. I hope that if I'm not wrong. So it is a characteristic of the human being to live in societies. These societies are many different kinds. Maybe some are small, maybe gangs, or some are maybe many large in nations. Suppose whether they all are having something in common. Each society has its own social organizations and social patterns, its own way of life, which is meaningful to those people who live in it. So, to sustain in the society, to lead a happy life in the society, or to be a member of the social group, everyone must have some knowledge of consciousness and conscious behavior. Without this, it is not easy to live in this society. So when I go through the flyer of the today's webinar title, it is quite different to me. Conscious is different, leadership is a different word. I don't know how Madam is going to merge these two things to enlighten the various aspects of leadership styles very particularly. But I just want to give some key address of this word. Conscious, when we go through this word, where we have different meanings, maybe I just want to quote one or two. Knowing about a particular thing, or thinking what something is important, or aware of what is happening around you and able to think, or we can see notice the existence of something. So everyone must have idea of all these things because you are living in a society as a member of the mob or a group. In its most simple form, conscious leadership is bringing one's whole self and with total awareness to your leadership position, as rightly quoted by Archana Krishnamurthy Garu. It requires authenticity to be who you really are. Conscious leaders focus on the we rather than me and realizes that there is a role to create a culture of trust, care, and expansive influence. Thank you, madam. I just want to give, I will take another 2 minutes. See, in individual's point of view, incorporating conscious practices into leadership has the potential to create a workplace that is more human and that provides a sense of community and a shared purpose. And one more thing, madam, incorporating conscious practices in leadership may lead to greater perception of trust, organization support, and commitment among the employees, which could have positive effect on organizational performance. I just want to conclude, sir. See, having a knowledge of conscious leadership will tells you a meaningful life, and I hope that it will gives the hope to helpless. So I request Professor P. Narayan Reddy Garu to take over the session and continue the rest of the activities of this program. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I once again welcome all the participants. A warm welcome to all of you on the behalf of Sri Vidyaniketan Institute of Management. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramarao, for nice and brief introduction about the topic. I am very, very happy to welcome all the participants to this very important webinar wherein our resource person is an expert on leadership. For a period of 30 years of her career was mainly focused on promoting leadership in different fields. That is her passion too. And I joined in this institute hardly a month back. And throughout my life, I always love two words. One is leadership, another one is entrepreneurship. And if one is missing, other one has no much meaning. I always feel that innovation, the leadership orientation are very much essential for every individual who is living on this earth. If we miss these two things, I strongly believe are liability to the society rather than as an asset to the society. So, in this, maybe the last effort of my endeavor is try to focus on leadership, develop some leadership qualities among the younger generations. Ultimately, they are going to be our assets and they are going to be the torch bearers of the present generation, and it is their responsibility to promote it further and hand over the torch to their own next generation. So therefore, maybe in the couple of years from now, we strongly focus on leadership development in various fields, more so among the students. That's why whenever I thought of having a webinar, let us start a webinar on leadership, more focus on conscious leadership. That is the pet word of our resource person, Archana Krishnamurthy. Archana Krishnamurthy is a certified leadership and executive coach, educational consultant, facilitator, motivational speaker, author with extensive professional experience spanning about 30 years in corporate leadership positions as a serial entrepreneur, founder trustee of couple of charitable organizations, strategic management consultant, mentor, and advisor. She is the author of I Am 18 and My Thrilling Roller Coaster Life Unfurls. The very, very interesting books that he has brought out based on her own experience. During this time, she has been sharing her life stories and motivating others to lead a purposeful and fulfilling life. Purposeful and fulfilling life, the very, very dearest words to most of us. She has been referred to often as Chief Happiness Executive. She conducts workshops related to conscious living for people of all age groups, but specifically her interest is to reach out to the people who are stepping into their adult life or are trying to find a meaning to their life. Some of her popular programs including conscious parenting, conscious facilitation, conscious leadership, and conscious happiness. She is actively involved in coaching and mentoring many youngsters with their career choices and startups. She regularly conducts self-awareness, self-management, and leadership programs for the corporate houses and also adult participants. Archana has been a student of spirituality since last 15 plus years. She is passionate about transforming lives and making a position difference to the world around her. She is a ICF certified coach from Neuro Leadership Group accredited by International Coach Federation. Prior to setting up CLC, she has been associated with global brands, namely Robin Sharma, Lead Without a Title, John Maxwell, Marshall Goldsmith, etc. She mastered events and was selected as a professional master for the programs conducted at Vigyan Bhavan at New Delhi, where it has been presided over by the Honorable President of India. It is a great credit and appreciation to Madam. I welcome you to this very important brief session. In this particular session, my colleagues and my students are there, majority of them, and of course, others are also there in the session. Fortunately, there are about 100 participants in this particular Zoom, and the remaining are on the YouTube and eagerly waiting for you to listen. Please welcome, Madam. Thank you very much, and take the session. And I request all the participants, if you have any question or observation, please put it in the chat box. At the end of Madam's presentation, we would like to take it up for the question hour sessions. Okay? Thank you very much, Madam Archana.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reddy, for that generous introduction. And also, I would like to thank Professor Ramarao for a very apt introduction of the whole concept that I wish to introduce today. And as you rightly said, Dr. Reddy, it is a pet project of mine called Conscious Leadership. And yes, Professor Ramarao, the whole idea of doing this is to mix spirituality and what we consider as a materialistic activity of leadership and make the whole existence spiritual for ourselves and for those around us. So while I welcome all of you, all the participants, I'm excited to talk to our future generation of students who are going to make the future not just of our country, but are the future of this entire world. So I'm very excited to talk to them. And I don't know if I'm more excited to talk to the faculty members who are actually great influencers in building up this whole generation. And of course, all the others who have taken their time out to attend this session, a very warm welcome from my side also. So as Dr. Reddy said, the whole idea is I'll take probably initial 15 minutes or so to introduce this interesting subject to all of you. And post that, I'll be very happy to take up all the questions that might come up. So as Dr. Reddy suggested, as and when you can think of a question, please keep posting that on the chat box. So I would like to share my screen at this point in time and use a small presentation. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope all of you are able to see the slide.
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, we have very limited time and we are discussing a very interesting subject. So I request all of you to be with me 100%. And to do that, I request all of you to please put away your phones and anything else that you think might distract you during this session. So first of all, before I come to the combination of the two interesting words, consciousness and leadership, let us look at the whys of these two words independently. So first of all, why should we lead? So to that, I would like to say that leadership is not really a choice, but a necessity. You may ask why? Whether we wish to lead others or not, we have to know how to lead ourselves. Only when we lead ourselves, we can be responsible for ourselves, which means responsible for our thoughts and action. So for all of you who are in the final year of doing MBA and are almost ready to get out there to the world as individual adults, one of the most important aspects of being adult, you'll agree with me, is being responsible. But responsible about what? Not just the work you do or the job that is handed over to you by your boss in a corporate organization. It is about being responsible for your thoughts and action. Everything that you do in your life, personally or professionally. Trust me, as you go longer in life, you realize that you cannot have two lives for too long. Whoever you are is what will come out in your relationships, in your personal life, and in your career, in your professional life. So you have to build a characteristic around you that you want to have in both these aspects. You cannot separate them both. I'll be professional in my professional world, and personally, I can be anything. That really doesn't work. That's where the conflict begins, and that's where most of the problems begin. I'll come back to this point a little later, but let me continue at this point here. If we do not know how to lead ourselves, we can be a hazard for ourselves and others. And this is a point I think Dr. Reddy already mentioned very briefly, and I totally agree with you, sir. Cannot agree more on that. That as we experience life, it becomes very obvious that if I have not known how to manage, how to lead myself, then I am a hazard, I'm a problem for myself. And not just for myself, but the entire community around me. And in this context, I think it's not wrong to say that it is a crime to even attempt to lead others when we cannot lead ourselves. We have to. Now, we all want to be happy, no doubt about it. All of you will agree with me. We have one common goal, and we all agree with this, and that's to be happy. But you know what? The secret is it won't just happen to us. We have to learn to lead ourselves towards happiness, which also means we have to learn how to lead ourselves away from conflicts and stress. And this we can do consciously. So I hope you all are with me. Why lead? Being very clear, leadership is really not a choice. Now let's come to this interesting word as to what do we mean by being consciously. So today, there's the difference that you would see in the usual leadership webinar and this series of conscious leadership is here the focus is more on leading yourself. And it's on purpose that the S is in capital out here. Before we come to consciousness aspect of it, let us get a little more understanding of what is really leadership. Forget about what you have really heard or read in so many books. Let's come to really having some experience in our own lives where we can authenticate what leadership means. Leadership is truly the ability to lead ourselves in a manner that others are influenced and motivated to follow us. See, times are gone for authoritarian or a dictatorship type of leadership. You have a position, you are older by age, and therefore you will lead. It really doesn't work. Not in the corporate world, even in our personal lives today. Our own children don't just listen to us because we happen to be older to them or we happen to be their parents. They want to reason things out. They want to understand stuff. They want to see us walk the talk. It's not enough for us to just give them lecture and they'll be influenced by that. They really want us to be seeing as an example, a role model. Only then even our own children tend to listen to us or be influenced by us, or maybe they might look up to us as a role model. So if that is the case, you can imagine outside it's so much more true. All of us want to accept somebody as a leader who we genuinely regard and respect, not somebody who just happens to be sitting on our heads as our senior or whatever. Leadership is to have the ability to learn from our past, live in the present, and have a vision for the future, which becomes a dream for everyone who comes in contact with us. Now, let me try to explain this complex long sentence here. What I mean to say is a leader needs to be agile and seen to be flexible, has to be dynamic, open to learning all the time. When I say past, every moment past is a past from which we can have a learning. So a leader should show that he is always open to new learnings as time goes by. Is somebody who is living in the present. So really being present means being available to that moment for themselves, being aware of what is happening with them and what is happening around them. And to be able to relate to that, you need to be living in the moment. If you're just planning about the future, and even it happens in a webinar, for example, if I'm the next speaker and somebody is speaking at this point in time, I'm more busy thinking as to how I want to talk or what I want to present, and I miss out on hearing out what is being presented right now by my previous speaker. Now, a leader who shows that he is not attentive and present in the moment is not going to make himself to be a great leader, because people are wanting attention from leaders, and you have to be attentive all the time. You have to obviously have a vision. That is what makes leaders special. If you are not somebody who can think long term and can develop a vision and can motivate others towards that vision, then you are not a leader, and we all know that. That's one part of it. But to have a vision about which you're so passionate, you're living every breath of your life in that vision. It should be so infectious that people who come around you, for them, even if they had never thought about that subject before they met you that moment, it should be so interesting for them that from that moment on, it should become their dream also. That is the ability of a leader to influence. Leadership is when we can be the owner of what everyone desires for, and that's happiness. What do I mean by that? If I find somebody, and this I can say has been my own personal experience, I just started practicing what I call as conscious living, and a part of that is conscious leadership. And because of that, I am a happy person, and that just happens to come out, from every cell out of me. I don't have to make an effort for that, and people can feel it, can sense it. And there are so many people who have come to me just tapping on my shoulder while I'm sitting in a coffee shop, wanting to speak to me and know more about me, because they just felt there was this aura that was so nice and they wanted to know more about me. I'm not exaggerating, but this happens. There are so many people, when I have been managing and owning different organizations, I have had teams of people working with me, and they're attracted to me for what? Happiness. They feel, how are you so happy? We can see there are so many things that are not necessarily going so right for you all the time, but you still seem happy. How is that? We want to learn that. We want to learn the art of being happy even when things are not going our way. And this, I found that whoever I get attracted to, or I feel inspired by, they are leaders who have that calmness, that sense of control, that sense of mastering over their happiness. They don't shake when things around them shake. So this is critical. Now, why are we talking about all this? Because this is what also you need to learn as a skill before you can become a leader. A leader needs to have absolute clarity, compassion, capability, determination, and honesty. Now, these are a few characteristics I'm talking about which you cannot compromise on, or there can be no leader who doesn't have a combination of all of these. Some may have more than this. One has to be very clear where they are headed. They have to be people who can empathize with others, understand other situation, and can respond to it with compassion. Not just moving in some direction, but they have to develop that capability, that skill, that knowledge that is required to be a leader in that segment. Somebody who is so passionate about what they are doing, obviously they have to show a sense of determination, a perseverance to follow through, because they have that faith that they know where they are going and they just need to continue putting their effort, and the universe will have to come along with them to make it happen. And then, friends, we see a lot of dishonest things happening around us. But trust me, each one of us, when we ask ourselves from the core of our heart, we all want, or we are inspired by people who are honest. The biggest example in our country is Ratan Tata, or actually the Tata Group, GRD, Tata, and others who have set it up, who actually created this followership or fans from across the globe for them because of their sense of honesty and integrity. It's very, very critical. So now let's look at this combination of leadership and then with consciousness. So what is consciousness? Simply put, being conscious is being aware, right? Awareness about what? About ourselves and the world around us. Only when we are aware of ourselves can we manage and lead ourselves. So think of it as a pyramid. At the foundation, we have to be aware of ourselves, and then we have to work on managing some aspects of ourselves that we think is important. And only then we can master ourselves or lead ourselves and become a leader of ourselves. I say our world is our creation. So let us be very aware of what we create. Many of us are cribbing about or frustrated about the world we live in. But frankly, friends, if you think carefully, we create our own world. This world is a very big space with a lot of things out there. But we see, we respond, we react, we identify things and create a world of our own based on what we are looking for. What we are not looking for, we actually don't even recognize its presence out there. When you start looking for everything that's going wrong, you will find so many things, endless. When you start looking for things that you should be scared of, millions of stuff out there. But when you start looking for good things happening out there, the magic happening out there, that's also endless. So it all depends on what you're looking for. You might be going through the same street all your life, but you might not have seen those two shops out there that are selling something that you were never looking for. The day you started looking for it, you were amused at the fact that they were on the same street that you were passing through every single day. I'm sure you all are with me on that. So when we live a life of our choice and create a world of our choice, we are living consciously. So friends, if you can just replace the word consciously here with successfully, it's the same definition according to me. If you are able to live a life of your choice and create a world of your choice, aren't you successful? So, living a conscious life and living a successful life are pretty close. When we live consciously, we are in control. See, as I earlier mentioned, unless we are aware of something, we cannot manage or lead it or master it. So if that is the case, when we start being aware of our life and everything around it, then we are able to manage it, we are able to lead it, and we are able to say that we are in control of things around us. When we are in control of things around us, we are a leader. Are you all with me? I hope so. Now, when we are undergoing this journey of leadership with awareness, that is what I'm referring to as conscious leadership. So let's get a little deeper into what is consciousness. This is a very big topic, and I'm sure, today we are only getting to the very surface of it, but I hope this will also be quite a bit for all of you. So let's get there. Consciousness, simply put, is that part of the universe that brings life into matter. Matter is born out of consciousness and not the other way around. Let us all accept, I'm not going to get into too much of detail on this. We can, but then we don't have so much time. So during the questions, maybe, but let's focus more on the leadership and how we can be a conscious leader. But this is at the foundation of it. And I will not be able to ignore this fact that this is the truth that we will have to accept, whether we call it God, superpower, or light, or whatever it is. There is a universal or a supreme consciousness, and there are many individual consciousness, which we can refer to as the jivas, the individual jivas. Individual consciousness are part and parcel of the supreme consciousness, and in that sense, qualitatively we are same, but quantitatively different. So example is usually given of the ocean and a drop in the ocean. I can see some hands raising, but we will take up all the questions after the presentation, which I'm going to end in another 5-7 minutes, please. So there is, we are similar, but we are not the same. And although we can say that we are very powerful beings, more than we know, but we will never be that supreme consciousness. Individual consciousness, because of how much of a powerful we are still limited, and we are living in this very powerful, influential material world. We do get influenced by the material world, and we start forgetting our real identity. And that is what is referred to as being in Maya or illusion. It is like a mirror, when we come, we are as clean as a mirror, and the sun is reflecting its light on us, and we just reflect it back. But then over a period of time, because we are out there in the world, there is dust, and we start collecting dust, and we are not taking the effort or making the effort of cleaning the dust from time to time. Over a period of time, the mirror still is a mirror, but it stops reflecting the light because the dust has accumulated over it, and the mirror itself forgets its fundamental nature of being connected to its source and reflecting that. If you want to be a leader, and especially if you want to be a conscious leader, the whole journey has to begin by becoming conscious or aware of yourself. Now, what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is defined as conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. I know Professor Ramarao also explained a bit about consciousness, and we will just get into that a little bit more. Now, whenever nowadays we want to know something, we run to Wikipedia, we run to Google. I call them my uncle and auntie. So how can we not refer to Wikipedia at least once during the whole presentation? So here it is. Self-awareness is the capacity for introspection and the ability to recognize oneself as an individual, separate from the environment and other individuals. It is not to be confused with consciousness in the sense of qualia. While consciousness is a term given to being aware of one's environment and body and lifestyle, self-awareness is the recognition of that awareness. Right? See, being conscious is almost like you're conscious or unconscious. So when you're conscious, you're aware about, yourself and things around you. But self-awareness is when you are aware about yourself as an individual, and we'll come to the different aspects of self that we are talking about here. Self-awareness is having a clear perception of your personality, including strengths, weaknesses, thoughts, beliefs, motivation, and emotions. Self-awareness allows you to understand other people, how they perceive you, your attitude, and your responses to them in the moment. So who are we? All of us are pure consciousness. However, due to the influence of the material world, our consciousness has got influenced and we have a wrong understanding of ourselves. We think, I'm Archana, so-and-so is Professor Rao, so-and-so is Dr. Reddy. But that's the external appearance of the body, of, the role that we have, but that's not the real us. We sometimes identify ourselves with the body we have, which can be called as body consciousness, sometimes with mind, and sometimes when we introspect enough, we perceive of ourselves as the soul within this body. Only when we make an attempt to understand our source and real purpose in life, we become conscious of our creator and our relationship with our creator and the ultimate goal of our life. Now, why is this even important? Look at all of us. If I were to ask you a simple question, are we living? All of us will say, of course, yes, we are living. But then, if I ask you the question, then can you tell me what is life? And there will be silence. And then if I can go ahead and say, hey, can you tell me more about yourself, truly who you are and what's your ultimate purpose in life? And then there is further silence. So how can we be living a life without knowing what is life and who are we? That's like going, and playing soccer on a field, just busy kicking a ball because everybody seems to be kicking. We are busy kicking the ball, but we have no idea which team we belong to. Why are we playing that game? Are we jumping, thinking that we have done a goal for the opposite party while we have done a self goal? Are we sure? We don't know which position we should be playing from because we never discovered that. We just grew up enough, and as soon as we started walking or running, we were just thrown into the field and we were told just play. And all we could observe is that people are busy kicking a ball. And once in a while, they put the ball into the goal post and everybody seems happy. And we start doing the same thing. But that's not that game, right? And if there is a referee who comes and taps on your shoulder and says, hey, listen, I don't think you got this game right. Let me explain to you first. Come out. And you say, no, don't disturb me. Right now, I'm very busy. If I am not kicking, somebody else is going to kick me. And if I come out of the field, I don't know if I will be ever coming back in. So once the game is over and I retire from this game, I will come to you to listen to what you have to say. But is there any point in learning about the game after you have played the game and come out of that game if you survived? That's the story. Think about it, friends. In one sense, we can be totally self-aware only when we are God conscious. And that is why that should be our first attempt before we get going with our lives. See, once we understand who are we, where have we come from, why do we exist, what's our purpose, What are we already gifted with? What is our best engagement with this world? Once we understand that, then we can go forward and sharpen the skills that we want, acquire the knowledge that we want, and get ready to be a great contributor in the field we know we should be contributing. The moment, friends, you figure out the life that you are meant to live and start living that life, irrespective of the material possessions you have, you will start being happy because there is no conflict within you. Most of us are living a life that we were told we should be living. We just studied what others told us. We are doing what others told us. We don't even know what we are meant to be doing. But somewhere we feel that conflict and disconnect with what we are doing. And therefore, that conflict within us is what comes out in this world as a conflict with ourselves, with our relations, with the world around us. So please think about what I'm saying. It's a very, very deep subject. I know it's too fast to think about such deep things, but I would still request all of us to consider. So where do we begin? Let us first of all look at what makes us human. We have a lot of things that are common between human beings and animals. Some of the traits are breathing, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They have emotions, we have emotions, they have feelings, we have feelings. What is it that makes us special as human? We have been given intelligence, very high capacity of intelligence. We have great communication skills. We have improved level of emotional intelligence. We just don't have emotions, we have emotional intelligence. We know how to manage our emotions intelligently. Higher level of consciousness. And as Dr. Reddy said, innovation is important. In other words, I would just call that innovation as creativity. Creativity is very, very unique to human beings. A human birth is what makes it possible for us to go to a world that we are all desiring for, where happiness is permanent. And that is that spiritual world. What is spiritual? Spiritual is what is natural to our spirit soul, to the world which is natural to us. That is prepared to go back there. We have come here and we have got entangled with this universal law of nature, where for every action there is a equal and opposite reaction. So even if we do good, we have to stay here to take the good returns. And if we do bad, of course, we have to be here to take the bad returns. But how do we really cut through this cycle, karmic cycle, and go back to our permanent residence of bliss and happiness is the real goal for all of us. That's life. Livelihood is only one aspect of our life, and livelihood has to be connected with the basic purpose of our life. So self-awareness is about knowing physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions of the self. We are multidimensional beings. We have to understand that we are all spirit souls who have accepted a physical body and a mental dimension suitable to express ourselves in the world. Self-awareness is to know the real I within us, understand the relation it has to others and our external world. Self-awareness is about knowing where we come from and where are we headed. Self-awareness is about knowing the ultimate purpose of our life. Once we become aware, as I said, then we get into management, which means basically we have to be in control of what we call ours and not be in their control, like what I've mentioned here. Don't worry, like I would like to share this presentation also later with all of you through Dr. Reddy and Professor Ramarao. But just understand the point here. Some of the tips I would like to give is really become an observer of yourself. Be honest with what you observe, accept that, do not judge yourself. You are a perfect creation the way you are. Know that, love yourself. Then you can actually work on yourself to make yourself better the way you would want to be. Make a list of things. What do you want to manage and why? Make a plan for that. Check yourself on those parameters. And please do accept help where it is required. Now, coming to leading yourself, leading is mastering. Mastering yourself at the body, mind, and soul level. Once you're doing that, trust me, any organization you go to, any role, any team you are given, you will be a leader by choice for others, not because you happen to be sitting in that position. Lead yourself with a sense of purpose. Make your life meaningful and purposeful. Life is just not about just getting, educated and then going out there and working, and then one day you get married and then you have children, and then, I don't know, you'll still, at my age, you will be wondering, why? Yeah, trust me, people who are double my age are still asking why. But they did not take the courage or the effort to understand what we are talking about today before they really went out there in the world. People go through what we call as midlife crisis because of that. We don't understand why we are doing what we are doing. Before we study, we need to know why we are studying what we are studying. Before we get into a job, we should know why we have chosen that job. Are we really fit for that job? Before we get married, we need to know why are we getting married? Who are we getting married to? Before we become a parent, we need to know, are we ready for parenting? Do we understand what is being a parent? And trust me, we all are going towards life that ends with death. And how many of us really know what is death? Yeah, we all live as if that's not going to come to us, right? But that's not the truth. Pandemics like COVID sometimes teach us a lesson and bring more awareness and consciousness in us than any other times. But still, I wish and pray this pandemic leaves us all very soon. But friends, I see the positive side of it. We are becoming more conscious because of that. Lead yourself and you will see the world accepting you as a leader. As a true leader, create more leaders. And always remember, leadership is dynamic. So don't stagnate at any level. Thank you so much. This is it from me. Now I'd be happy to take up any questions that all of you may have.
Yeah, I thank you, madam. Thank you very much. An excellent presentation and practical orientation and thought-provoking session. I request if there are participants having a question or any observation, please unmute yourself and ask the question or give your observation. Archana will try to respond to you accordingly. Okay?
Madam,
I
it's
see a raised hand by Mr. Nagarjuna, by the way.
Yeah.
Good evening, madam.
Yes.
This is Dr. B. Nagarjuna. In fact, I have listened to your lecture some time back when I visited Sanskrit School of Business sometime in the month of March 2020. I'm happy to once again listen to your lecture here. Madam, leadership is all about developing people and helping others reach their full potential. Conscious leaders focus on we rather than me and realize that their role is to create a culture of trust, care, and expansive influence. In this context, when we think of leadership role in all our lives, I believe that the first role we play as a leader is the parent leader role, where our children will be our followers. And the next role, by virtue of our profession, we play will be at the teacher leader role, where our students will be our followers. In both the cases, how do we move forward to be successful as a parent leader or a teacher leader with consciousness? Because if we fail to set right our children and students and put them on track, how do we expect that once leadership role can influence the society and bring a change in the society? As you said in your earlier presentation, leadership is all about bringing a change. How it is possible? As a parent and as a teacher, with consciousness, what do you suggest us? How should we move forward in our lives?
Thank you, Mr. Nagarjuna. That's an excellent question. And I would say that itself, the question itself, if you just go through it once again, right from beginning till the end, the focus was external, sir, doing something for somebody. But the whole point I'm trying to make in conscious leadership is to move that focus towards ourselves. The problem that we are doing is we think we know how our children should be. And we are going out there being their leader as a parent and putting up that role. We are thinking we know what is best for our students or what is best for our colleagues or subordinates or our clients or our customers. But the fact of the matter is, my question would be for all of us, do we really know what is good for them when we don't necessarily know what is best for us? Are we aware? Now, as a parent, for example, if I am demonstrating as a teacher, as a parent, as a senior, as an adult in the society, if I'm demonstrating the behavior of a conscious and aware individual, being very responsible in everything that we do, then we don't have to make any special effort to teach our children or our students anything different. They are going to learn by observing us, and they would be fascinated by us, like the real gurus, right? We have to become our own master before we can become somebody else's master. And I'll tell you one more little secret, which I understood from my spiritual master. My spiritual master, while we all called him the master, he said, I look at myself as the servant serving all the devotees who have disciples who have come here. So my job is to serve you while you are thinking you have to serve me, but both are right in their own thinking and doing what they have to do. So the day as a parent, we understand we have to serve and facilitate our children grow into, the individuals who are responsible and conscious and aware of every action. And we ourselves behave like that. Our problem is solved. I hope I made sense.
Right. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Madam, once again, it's me, Dr. Ramarao.
Yes.
In the name of Mr. Kamalakar, who is watching this program through YouTube, asking one interesting question, but it need to be addressed right now, madam. He's asking like this: how to have a balanced life? Sometimes it's quite challenging at workplace and get disconnected with family and friends. It's $1 million question. But apart from Kamalakar, I just want to know from you.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes, I do agree with you. That's $1 million question, and a lot of trainers like us have made a lot of money organizing, workshops called work-life balance. I'm sure all of you have heard time management, stress management, work-life balance, God knows what. But the beauty is when we understand the difference between life and livelihood, that first of all will help us. What is life? What are we intending to do in our life? And then livelihood is something that provides us with the monetary and other material stuff that we need. We are not, and also can be very usefully, kind of put to use. But the point is for what? The problem that is happening, sir, why we feel there is a conflict is we have made our profession, our livelihood, a center of our life. And our entire life is going around it. But at the core of ourselves, we know our family, our children, our wife, they are at the center. We know it, but we don't know how to now turn this wheel around. That is because we have taken up professions with which probably at a personal level, we don't see the connect. There may be a connect, but we have not yet figured that connect. The day we are able to figure that connect, they're not two things. You are living one life. You will know how to integrate your family with your work life and your work with your family life without having the conflict.
Excellent, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are there some more questions? Yeah, I think time is running out. I'd like to say one or two of my observation, and then we can close the session. Basic issue is we are not aware of our own self in advance. We experience something, then we realize, but at that time we may not able to go back and correct our mistake or whatever happened, because that happened in the past. Now, because of that, we are not able to become more conscious about ourselves. It is like this. When you are a young parent, you may not understand your child better. When you become old, you understand your granddaughter very well. This is the practical issue. So therefore, this is the first thing. Second most important thing is that because of the direction of the world, and most of our, we are all lead towards a better life in the name of materialistic approach. Therefore, it is difficult to maintain the balance between spiritual and materialistic world. This is the second important aspect. And most of the time, we fail to lead a satisfactory life because our wants and desires are much beyond our capacity, much beyond our needs. In this aspect, we try to struggle to overcome the limitations and try to realize what we wanted, though it is very tough task. And most of us fail to realize that we can live even after physically we leave this particular world. This is a challenging time, because if we recognize and realize that in this life we can do something that can be a sustainable one, even we can live in this world even after we leave this world physically. That's what great people have contributed. They become leaders in giving specific direction to the life on this particular earth. So unfortunately, majority of us fail to realize that type of life. Therefore, we are not becoming a great leaders. And very rarely we see great leaders, but majority of the people on this earth may not become the great leaders. But unfortunately, we are not able to recognize this particular thing much in the early stage of our life. But we realize this at a much later stage. At that stage, we have very, very limited time to do something, and we have limited energies to put in that direction. these are the some of the things. That's why we fail to create conscious leadership in the society. And finally, the balance of life between the family and the work, as you mentioned very rightly. Because of our emotional approach, we fail to demarcate between what is work, what is personal. We mix most of the time. We carry the problems of our profession to home. We carry the problems of our home to the work. Therefore, we may not have the proper balance between the two. But there are good number of people who can demarcate between the two and happily wash hands when they leave the office by 5 or 6 and happily go home and spend time with the family. Similarly, when you leave the home and comfortably and keeping all your small issues at home and come to the work with a happy feeling that I want to do something from 9 to 5 in the day, if you involve yourself in the work, you can do better. You can lead the environment. Unfortunately, we mix both. And we don't know whether we are mixing or coming out. Because we are in that confusion, therefore it happens. That's what actually happens. So these are my observations. Thank you very much, madam, for your kind acceptance of our invitation. I request my colleague, Mr. Rahmatullah, to propose a vote of thanks for the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Myself, Mr. V. Rahmatullah, working as assessor in Srivijayaniketan Institute of Management. Respected Director, Professor P. Narayana Reddy, sir. Today's resource person, Madam Archana Krishnamurthy, my dear colleague, good evening, one and all. Feel honored and privileged to get opportunity to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. We are grateful to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Manchu Mohan Babu Garu, respected CEO Vishnu Manchu sir, for providing infrastructure on digital platform and supporting in all aspects. I express my deep gratitude to our Reddy sir for motivating and guiding us in all activities. I thank our beloved director sir and convener of today's webinar for initiation and giving me opening remarks of today's webinar and also briefly explaining the whole content. I would like to thank today's resource person Archana Krishnamurthy for enlightening us about the importance of leadership and providing a good explanation about passion of peaceful life, high in reaching the needy people, her characteristics and involvement in digging the widest thoughts and leadership as far as spirituality, her natural talent in motivating the people. Madam Archana, your speech will definitely boost up our standards of life and knowing where and what we are. Definitely, it helps most of the people to lead their life peacefully and balance their life in all aspects. I would like to thank my colleagues and our participants, especially as well as the non-teaching staff who have put their entire efforts in order to make this webinar as a successful webinar. Thank you, madam, and thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. I request all the participants please provide the feedback and thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Participants, provide feedback which has been available in your WhatsApp groups. Thanks a lot.